Hi, I'm DiParmejan with your News Cats update. Bloody hell, my friends. While you were busy chasing your tails, the megalomaniac in chief just launched a full-scale bumberwazzle attack on truth itself. President Trump's latest executive order is nothing short of media murder, commanding the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to immediately cut off all federal moolah to PBS and NPR. Wait, did he actually just try to defund Big Bird? Are you having a proper laugh? The White House claims these broadcasters are spewing radical woke propaganda because apparently teaching kiddies their ABCs and reporting actual fiddlesticks facts is meow considered radical terrorist activity. I haven't seen this much delusional twitwaffle since that time I got high on catnip and thought my tail was an intruder. The administration's specifically hissy-fitting about NPR covering LGBTQ+ issues, the Hunter Biden laptop saga, and COVID origins in ways that didn't polish Trump's microscopic ego. The blithering nincompoop is particularly miffed about PBS showing a drag queen character on a children's program and airing a documentary about transgender teens. His evidence for this alleged partisan bias? A cockamamie claim that NPR employs 87 registered Democrats and 0 Republicans in editorial roles. Blimey! Not being funny, but this executive spifflewick is about as subtle as a cat in a room full of cucumbers, innit? Paula Kerger, PBS's absolutely brilliant CEO, called the order blatantly crumble-snatch unlawful, and she's spot on, mate. The Public Broadcasting Act specifically created the CPB as a private non-profit to protect it from presidential interference, like a lovely protective cardboard box around our democracy. This funding, fiddly bits, matters tremendously, my friends. We're talking 535 million smackaroos annually that supports hundreds of local stations in places where commercial media can't be bothered to tread. Some tiny rural stations rely on federal funding for nearly 50% of their budgets. These aren't just telly stations, they're lifelines, proper essential services providing news, emergency alerts, and educational content to communities that otherwise would be left in the dark like a frightened kitten in a thunderstorm. I've seen the impact firsthand with my own superior feline eyes, and let me tell you, it's absolutely gobsmacking how much people rely on these services. If you're enjoying this absolutely mental breakdown of democracy while I explain it with my characteristic charm and wit, do give us a cheeky like and subscribe, my gorgeous viewers. This executive bollocking fits into a terrifying pattern that would make even my whiskers stand on end. Since January, Trump's administration has been on a right monstrous tear, shutting down Voice of America and Radio Free Europe on March 15th, dismantling the Department of Education and sacking thousands of federal workers faster than I can cough up a hairball. It's Elon Musk, or President Musk, as he's functionally running the show, and his Project 25 henchcats systematically shredding democratic institutions like my favourite scratching post. The FCC, led by Trump's appointee Brendan Carr, is meow investigating NPR and PBS's underwriting practices as well, another front in this coordinated attack. It's all about control, innit? Control what information reaches your ears, and you control what thoughts bounce around in your head. Quite devious for a man whose own thoughts predominantly consist of hamburgers and grievances. The legal catfights brewing are absolutely stonking massive. The CPB is already locked in courtroom dust-ups over Trump's attempts to boot their board members. Over 135 lawsuits have been filed challenging these funding cuts, with more piling up faster than fur on my favourite jumper. Trump's also instructing his minion secretary, Kennedy Jr., to investigate PBS and NPR for discrimination, because apparently representing diverse communities is meow a crime punishable by financial execution. The most knackering thing? Local public broadcasting stations often serve as primary emergency alert system stations. They're literally the first line of communication during disasters. NPR has 246 member stations with news bureaus in every state, serving communities that commercial media treats like a dirty litter box. What's happening here is crystal clear to those of us with superior intellect like myself. This isn't about saving taxpayer quid. It's about silencing independent voices that might question the regime. Decades of research shows programs like Sesame Street significantly improve children's literacy and social-emotional skills. But according to Marjorie Taylor Greene's March hearing, teaching kiddies their numbers is meow considered pushing a communist agenda. And I'm not yanking your tail here, transing children. It's the same playbook Putin uses in Russia, mate. While Putin controls Russian media with an iron paw, Trump's trying to do the same here by strangling funding. The most gobsmacking irony: this particularly hurts rural working-class communities, the very people who voted for this toffee-nosed twat waffle. While commercial media gets increasingly polarised chasing advertising pounds, public broadcasters focus on facts and serving communities without commercial pressure. But facts, my friends, are precisely what fascists find most threatening, like a dog finds my magnificent presence threatening. As Germany labels far-right parties as extremist and Trump snuggles up to dictators like they're catnip-stuffed mice, our free press is being systematically dismantled from within. I've seen this pattern before in my extensive world travels and sophisticated political observations. First, they come for the media, then they come for anyone who speaks up. And that, my fabulous friends, is why I, the most handsome and insightful news personality in the business, am absolutely furious about this assault on democracy. It's enough to make me knock every single item off America's metaphorical shelf. Thanks for tuning in to Newscats. I'm DiParmejan. Don't forget to punch a Nazi today.